Independent grind, powered by Tech Nine.
Joining us right now is Kaixen, producer out of Miami, Florida. How you doing today?
What's up, man? How you doing? I'm great.
Not bad, not bad. Before we get into the music, I got a question for you. I saw a tweet and I had to ask. On I think it was like November 6th at 3:34 in the afternoon, you tweeted, "Ruby Tuesdays is trash." I want to give you a chance to explain. Talk about it. Maybe was there a bad situation? Get it off your chest.
Oh my God, that's crazy. You brought that tweet up. Do you like Ruby Tuesdays?
I don't really have any feelings towards it either way. I kind of put it in the same group as Applebee's and what's the other? Chili's.
Chili's. I've never been to Applebee's, but yeah, dude, Ruby Tuesdays absolute trash. I ordered it off Postmates the other day because I was like, oh, I haven't had Ruby Tuesdays in like a decade. So I was like, can I curse on here or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
So I said, fuck it. I'm gonna order Ruby Tuesdays, and I had known it was one of those chain restaurants, but I haven't gone to a chain restaurant in so long, and I figured, oh, it's been like 10 years. They've probably upped the quality. Like, we're living in 2018 now. It's got to be fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be microwaving food still. So I get the ribs and chicken combo and mac and cheese, and I'm starving. It's definitely about 4 p.m. like right now. And I get the food, and yo, it was for sure the worst meal I've had in years. I can't even go back. Like, the ribs were like, you could taste that they were microwaved. You could taste, like how when you put sauce on some shit and then you throw it in the microwave and you're like, you added the sauce before putting it on in the microwave. And it was just like, yo.
Well, I'm sure it's bad fresh out of the oven, but then to also Postmates it, I feel like adds another element of like just letting it sit there for 45 minutes in its own microwave like shit probably didn't help.
Exactly. It's frozen food. And the chicken was super bad. The mac and cheese was like watered down cheese sauce. It was just a horrible experience.
You got to go to Applebee's.
Man, I have to, bro. I haven't gone. I heard they have like dollar margaritas.
Yeah, it's still trash, but you just get like cheap drink. Like, it still doesn't taste good. I go to those sometimes. Like, I know it's not going to be good, but I still get weird like cravings for like shitty ass chain restaurants. There's just something about it. It's about the experience.
I don't know. Not for me anymore.
No, you give Applebee's a shot and then let us know.
I'll
what you
definitely
think.
have to do that. I'm gonna let you guys know for sure.
But yeah, Ruby Tuesdays, I feel like of all those 3 shitty restaurants, is the shittiest.
Oh man, I learned the hard way. All right, and it was fucking expensive. It was like a $20 meal.
Jesus.
I was like, yo.
Yeah, that's why you gotta go. You get the drinks and then like the bottomless appetizers or whatever, or the endless like chicken nuggets or ribs.
Yeah. That's where I fucked up.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into some music. It's been a big year for you. I'm sure one of the highlights for you was the Week by Lil Wayne. You had a placement with him on the sort of. I know it leaked, but can you sort of talk about that experience getting to have a track with Wayne?
Yeah, I actually have like. If I had to take a guess, I probably have like 5 or 6 more somewhere in the vault.
No shit.
But basically, one of my homies that I met through playing. I used to play in a local band in college. I'm 27 now, so I started that when I was like 18. And one of like my band members knew this guy that recorded and was going to school for sound engineering. So we kind of just like linked up with him and just started like recording with him and just developing a relationship. And then so he was at the AI, which is the Art Institute, if you haven't heard of it. They have a bunch all over the country. And he was like just like the head of his class, and he was just really taking it serious. And I don't know if you've ever been like to an art school or like been to like the art section or like anything to do with like any music, but like in the music business or anything like those schools, a lot of those kids are just like trust fund kids or kids that are just thinking that oh, I want to do music, and they're just full of shit. So like 10% of the class ends up doing something, and he was one of the 10% that actually went off to do something dope, and he got a job. He got an internship at this place called Hit Factory, at the studio called Hit Factory, which is just a monumental record studio, like period. And then he just was interning, and through interning, he would like run errands for Wayne's camp for the Young Money camp, and someone stepped down and he got the job. And I have like I've had like basic music theory and just knowledge throughout my whole life, so I've always been good at just like playing and learning things by ear. So he was just like, yo, I overheard Wayne saying that he was trying to make a song like this, he was like, do you think you could make a song similar and like put the vocal chop over it, acapella? And I was like, yeah. So I literally, he lived across the street, so I went to his crib. We made the beat in his bedroom, like literally like no more than 30 minutes. This was like 5 years ago, by the way. 4 or 5 years ago. And then he was like, okay, I'm just going to show this to him tomorrow. And then he went into Hit Factory, and Wayne was like, yo, that's mine. And that was crazy. It.
So
yeah,
you said you made that 5 years ago, and then so were you just kind of like, he made it and you were just waiting basically? You had no idea what was going on with it?
Yeah, exactly. It was like he told me, hey, he recorded to it. It's tight, but he was also going through that shit with Cash Money and Birdman, so it really couldn't happen at that time. So it was just sitting till like right now. And I know that, I don't know if I can say anything, but there will definitely be a rollout soon. Within the next year for sure. You'll be seeing a lot more Wayne.
Nice. What was the sort of your reaction to like seeing it leak? Because I'm sure it's like on the one hand it's like fuck that leak, but on the other hand it's still like I got a track with Wayne out right now that people are listening to.
Yeah, it's really bittersweet because it's like, for one, I haven't heard the song since it was made, so I haven't heard that song in literally 3-4 years. So it's cool because like, yeah, I finally got the song. It's something cool to have and just to be able to listen to. But second part is like, fuck, like the song's never really going to see the light of day, and it's just going to be one of those leaks. So it sucks, but I'm not really pressed on it. There's more songs, there's more music to come out.
Have you gotten a chance to sort of get anything else in his ear? Because I know like if it was 5 years ago, you've definitely grown, your style has grown. Like, have you gotten a chance to like sort of send anything new, or is there anything like more recent coming?
I don't think so, because my buddy Manny, it's kind of like we work together and he'll show him something, and I haven't seen, he's just like on a crazy schedule with Wayne. So like I've seen him like once or twice. No, I've seen him once this year. And like his best friend, my buddy Dane Vane, shout out to Dane Vane, another producer here in Miami, he hasn't even seen him this year. He's like, yo, I've seen him like once the same time you saw him. So we haven't really been able to cook up. I know we made some shit this year, but I don't know if it ever got to his ears.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm sure that schedule is just a little hectic.
Yeah, no, dude, it's crazy. It's intense, and I don't want to bother him.
Yeah.
It's just like his own shit. But I mean, I know it'll come around and there'll be more music made.
And worst comes to worst, you have a track with Lil Wayne. That's not the worst thing to hang your hat on.
Yeah, it's tight. I'm excited for the future. He's got some good shit coming out.
I also saw this year you dropped one with Youngboy NBA. How'd you get linked up with him?
Well, I've never met NBA. I've never met Wayne either, but it's just crazy how this shit works out. So I had gone out to this event called just some weekly event here in Miami, and I was leaving, and then I saw this one DJ that I was friends with, and he was like, yo, meet my buddy, he's a producer. I was like, oh, cool. And then we were like, yo, we should link up. I ended up doing some production work for him, and he brought me to this studio called Pink House over on the beach, and the engineer there at the time was this dude Derek Garcia. He goes by the producer named Derek, and we just really kicked it off, and we just stayed in contact. And it so happened that he got the job as Kodak Black's head engineer and got really tied in with Atlantic. So we just started making beats together and like sending each other work, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna send some beats out over to the label. And he sent it over, and one of the A&Rs, I guess, played it for NBA, and it was history right there.
That's crazy. It's so funny to me that I feel like engineers are so slept on as like even just part of like the songs, but also like the people who make things happen.
First of all, I'm so mad. I'm not even mad. It's straight. But I think Wale tweeted out the other day that like He said, he's like, you guys are fucking idiots. If you want to get placements, make friends with the engineers. And I'm like, fuck, he told the secret. Because that's really what it is, man. I'm not even gonna spill the sauce. But Wale gave the secret of all secrets.
Yeah, it's so funny that way that like everyone looks at like at producers or whatever as A&Rs and shit, but like really it's like the engineers who are the ones like making the tracks,
like
and then
producers. We're not the ones to go to. If you're trying to get a placement or just get heard, don't go to a producer, man. Don't make friends with the producer. Don't make friends with the artist, because the artist isn't gonna even like remember. Like, it's always the engineer or the A&R or the manager that's like, hey, let's pull something up, or hey, do you have anything? The artist is, unless you're like really close with that artist, like how Metro is with 21 or Travis, it's just not going to work that way.
Yeah. Were you surprised at those placements at all? Because it's funny to, you hear Lil Wayne, Young Boy, you might think sort of like the more like trap, like heavy rap stuff, but like you do a lot of R&B kind of pop, like different genre blending. Did those placements surprise you at all?
Yeah, it's crazy because when I came into this, I came in as like an indie rocker. Like I wanted to be the next like Two Door Cinema Club, Paramore. Like I wanted to be a pop artist, and it's just like so funny how it's just completely on the other spectrum. But it's kind of, I've always felt like I've been a great songwriter and producer, so whatever avenue that it ended up going to, it just felt like, oh, this is normal. Like it's something I'm like excited about, but it's also something I just feel like, oh, I've been knowing that was going to happen. You feel me? Yeah. So it's like, it's a weird moment. It's weird.
Is getting into hip hop, are you planning to do sort of more of this? Like, did this open a door for you to experiment with hip hop and try to maybe do more traditional, like sort of trap R&B or like that kind of stuff, like more traditional beats?
I mean, I've been making hip hop and rap now for since that. I've been making beats. I mean, ever since I started producing, I was making beats, because like you can't really do that in the rock world. Right. It's kind of like you just play your instrument, you play your part, and that's it. So I kind of wanted to. That's what I kind of liked about hip hop. It like opened up a completely new video game where it was like, okay, I don't have to play as this one character. I can go and I can be everybody. I can go and play as fucking Kirby, and then I can go use Captain Falcon. I can be everything, and like just make fucking dope shit. And I feel like it just came natural. Yeah.
How did you get started? Because I know you started with guitar, and it's interesting a lot of times you hear about like keyboard or drummers becoming producers, but not often like guitarists. Like how did you start? Like what got you into music, and like how did you start to develop your sound?
Well, I started playing in this indie rock band here in Miami, and I just remember like that was like my first real music experience. So I just remember always going to the studio and always asking questions, and always feeling like a bit out of the picture, or like, being in a band, you have 4 or 5 different people there, so you have to like always come to an agreement. And sometimes, I always say this, is like sometimes the group decision isn't the best decision, and sometimes you'll always have to make that majority rules decision, right? It's like, damn, I don't want to be this dick and say, fuck your decision, we're going to do this, because it's obviously the majority. So I kind of was like, I just got to go do something completely on my own. And I actually started like rapping and singing, and I did this like indie weird 21 Pilots mixed with, I don't even know, Jamiroquai. Like it was just all over the place. And I just started expressing myself through that avenue. And then I kind of really I was like, being an artist is tight, but I feel like I really like producing. So I just started making beats all the time. I was already making the beats and just like writing shit. I was like, I don't really care for that. And then I kind of just started opening avenues and getting more into the local scene. That was like in 2012. And that's when I found out about like Denzel Curry, 12 Lin, Puya, Mikey the Magician, Fat Nick. One of my best friends at the time, he was actually in my band. He was the drummer. He was really close friends with Mike the Magician and Puya and Nick. So I had like met them, got introduced to them, and that's when Puya was like working on the Stunna album. So I've been hanging out with them for a little bit, and I was just like seeing the world peeping game. And then I actually played a show at Denzel, and I always told him, I was like, yo, man, if you ever need like any like live musician work or anything, I'd be your guy. And like throughout the years, we always just saw each other doing shit. And then I knew I wanted to work with that, like him and 12 Lin, JK the Reaper, and all these cats. So I was like, yo, I gotta get my shit right. You know, I already got some shit in Lil Wayne. I think I can really do this shit. So I just kept going at it, listening to producers, and I really I got into the EDM world. Well, that was like a really weird time, but it just like, I was all over the place. And like, I just grew so much through just listening to different music and just like trying to learn as much as I could. And then just through trial and error, it just became what it is now.
That's awesome. Is there a sound you're currently exploring, like maybe one you haven't done before that you're still trying to, because I feel like, you know, it's important to keep growing and keep developing. Like, what are you currently exploring, or something you haven't done before that you're trying out now?
Right now, I'm actually like, I'm like in this like live life funk music phase, because I've just been so saturated in this beat making and songwriting world. I've kind of just been like in this bubble. I've just been living in this bubble, and I'm trying to stray away from it and not listen to anything and kind of see what comes natural. Like, I've been listening to a lot of Garen Sean. He's an artist out of I want to say San Diego. He makes like 60s psychedelic R&B funk. He worked on Chance the Rapper's album. He worked on Coloring Book. He's super duper dope, and like he's really been inspiring me. But right now, that's the kind of where I'm at. I'm like at this crossroads where I'm trying to figure out like, where do I want to go next? So I'm just kind of stepping back and just not creating and just enjoying and living just life, you know what I'm saying? What
do you do like to sort of blow off steam when you're not like, I know you're in my, like, do you go to the beach, or like, are you traveling? What are you trying to do to sort of just I
definitely love going to the beach. I have a beautiful backyard, so I have like this really nice tree, and I'll just go out there and just reflect. Exercise, I've been running a lot. And believe it or not, I picked up like a little catering part-time gig just to like experience human relationships again. As weird as that sounds, I'm like, because being a producer and being freelance is like, you're not around people all the time. Like, right. I feel like people forget like human behavior, human life. When you're at home 5 out of the 7 days a week, and you're only going out at night, and you're like drunk or you're under the influence, you really lose that human connection. And I was just like, fuck, man, that shit really inspired me when I made music. So I was like, yo, it'd be cool to like maybe pick up a part-time job and just, you know, get treated like a normal person again, and feel anger, feel like the like anxiety of getting to work late. Or like getting pissed off at your manager for trying you, or like, you know, the two cute girls you're trying to spit game at, like feeling those feelings. Like I feel like I'm like a kid again. Right. It's so weird. So, but that's just definitely been helping me.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I feel like I've been trying to sort of like take a step back, even from social media and shit. Like, I'm at an office all day on like Twitter and stuff, and it's like you kind of forget when you get in the music bubble. You get so focused on like the shit that's going on and that stuff, and then you step out of it for a minute. You're like, oh, none of that shit really matters at all.
Yeah, yo, it's crazy because I'll like go to work and I'm like, yo, the internet is a completely different place from the real world, man. Yeah. Completely different. So it's humbling. It's really humbling, and it just brings me back to earth. Yeah. So that's really like my experience right now, is just really sitting back and like taking a little experiment. It's a little social experiment.
That's dope. Well, I also like, you've had a busy year too, so which included dropping your own EP. I wanted to talk about that for a second. It's like basically a solely instrumental album. I'm curious, for creating those, like, did you create those specifically for your album, or were those things you had like laying around? I guess how did you make this project like start to finish?
Yeah, this project's really been done all year. I've been like trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and it was kind of like one of those moments where I'm like, oh, I'll figure it out tomorrow. It's Wednesday. I'll figure it out next week. Oh, it's the end of the month. We'll deal with it next month. And then I was like, yo, it's October, Jay. You need to put something out. So I think I was like, okay. I wanted to like kind of line up this like 5 or 6 week release of just music back to back to back. So I was like, okay, I'll put together. I wanted to do an album, but I was like, oh, that's a lot of music. Let's start with a 4 or 5 song EP and maybe see how that translates. And then I think I might release the second part of the EP in January. But yeah, it's just basically, I guess the transition would be like, because I released an album last year called Picado, and it was like an album that was really based on like dark emotion and like not being in the gutter, but feeling emotions that almost feel unwanted. You know, like feeling like shit sucks right now, but it's all right because life has its ups and downs, and if you're low, you're gonna get high. So I feel like this EP, Life Goes On, is exactly what that EP is saying. It's just like this the transition mode, like, hey, life goes on, you're out of that right now and it's moving forward, it's moving up, and it's just like this not necessarily a purgatory, but like you're in the waiting elevator moving on up.
That's dope, man.
So it's kind of like the whole premise of the whole EP, an ambient R&B spiritual journey, I guess.
Well, that's awesome. And yeah, we'll let you get out of here soon, but before we do, I'm curious, like, what you got. I know you said you're taking a break. You got something maybe coming in January. What do you got on the lineup right now? Okay,
yeah, so for the past like 4 weeks we've been putting out music. First week was Gabby G. We released I think an 8 or 9 song project of just like singles and I think a couple new songs. And the week after was mine. Then last week, S. Brady and I put out his project Wildfire. I worked on most of that. And then this week's release is Kodak's new record, Dying to Live. I worked on 2 tracks on it. One is Could Have Been Different, and the other one is Gnarly featuring Lil Pump. So I'm really excited about that release. And then I think there will be another surprise release with another artist that I can't disclose them right now just to keep a surprise. And I think we're going to stop there, and then in the new year I'll probably release an EP in January or February along with Gabby G's new EP, which will follow probably a week or 2 after.
Damn, so much for that break you were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, like the break is really for like I can take this break. I got music lined up till summer, so we're cooling.
Well, that's dope, man. Congrats on all the work. A big year, and we're looking forward to what comes next. Before we let you go, though, we got 3 random questions for you. First up, you're going to the gas station. What are you going to pick up?
Oh, okay. There's a lot of things I'm going to pick up. What kind of gas station?
Just like a convenience store.
We going to 7-Eleven? We going to Chevron? Okay, convenience store. I'm getting the spicy. What's that purple Dorito bag? The sweet spicy?
Yeah, the sweet and spicy. I think it is sweet and spicy.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting those Doritos and a mango Fanta soda because I'm a stoner. And what's the other thing? And those like Asian like cookie like bears. You know what I'm talking about? They have different fillings in them.
I have no idea.
Bro, they're fire. I don't know what they're called, but shout outs to them. They're like these little cookies that are shaped as little bears, and they have different fillings. Like there's a strawberry filling, a vanilla filling, chocolate filling. Definitely picking that up. And some Skittles, just cuz.
Okay, next up, the person you would most like to be stuck on an elevator with, and the person you would least like to be stuck on an elevator with.
I'm gonna go with Frank Ocean most because that would be fucking sick to be in an elevator stuck with Frank Ocean. And least Trump. That would fucking suck.
That's the second Trump answer.
Definitely don't want to be with Trump.
All right, and last up, a conspiracy or like supernatural shit, whether it be aliens or Bigfoot or whatever, that you think is real.
Aliens, no doubt.
Okay. Any other ones? Bigfoot. Any other conspiracy
Bigfoot,
theories?
I really want to believe in Bigfoot, but I don't know if I believe Bigfoot. I mean, we can go on for a long time talking conspiracy theories, so I'm just going to stick with aliens right now.
Dope, man. Well, Kaixen, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're looking forward to what you got on the docket, and congrats on all the placements this year, and keep it going.
Thank you all. Thank you for talking to me.
Cool. See you, man.
Peace.
You're locked into Independent Grind on Dash Radio. Tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, for the latest hip-hop news, music, and interviews. Independent Grind only on Dash Radio, baby. Tech 9!
This is the genius, Chris Calico.
Cali, baby!
Letting you know you're tuned into Tech 9's Independent Grind on Dash Radio.